Welcome back to the deep dive. We're the place that, cuts through the noise and gets straight to the essential insights from the material you share with us. Today, we're diving into something that touches nearly every professional life, the nuanced world of business English. Specifically, we're focusing on how we master meetings and presentations. We've got a fantastic deep dive ahead drawn from this really comprehensive article called Business English Mastering Meetings and Presentations.
Right.
Think of it as your shortcut, maybe, to unlocking influence in the global business arena. The article makes a really compelling point. It says communication isn't just a tool, it's the fundamental architecture upon which success is built. And these key phrases we'll be looking at, they're described as linguistic keys that unlock doors to persuasion, clarity, and professional respect. Pretty powerful stuff.
Indeed. And what's fascinating here, looking at the source, is how it highlights that difference. The difference between someone who is just, well, present in a meeting and someone who's truly influential. Often it really just lies in their command of these key phrases. A well-timed phrase can steer a conversation, it can soften a disagreement or rally a team. Surprisingly effective. But conversely, a clumsy expression, or maybe just the wrong one for that moment, it can derail even the most brilliant idea. So our mission today is to help you wield them with precision, with strategic intent. Understand not just what they are, but why and how they actually matter in real business interactions.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We all know those first 5 minutes of any meeting. They're arguably the most critical, right? They set the whole tone. They dictate the flow. So let's look at one of the opening phrases the article mentions. All right, everyone, let's kick things off. It feels energetic, doesn't it? A bit informal, maybe, but it signals the official start. It's borrowed from sports, yeah. It implies action, momentum, and it sort of positions the speaker as a proactive leader right away. It's definitely more engaging than a stiff, let us begin.
Absolutely. And the nuance there is, it's not just about starting, it's about projecting confidence.
Yeah.
Purpose. You're subtly signaling, okay, we're here to get things done.
Yeah.
It's ideal for internal team meetings, project syncs, brainstorming, places where there's some camaraderie. Especially good when that pre-meeting small talk is winding down. But a critical pitfall. Avoid it if crucial attendees are missing. That signals disrespect, and your tone has to match the energy. A tired, let's kick things off. Well, that just falls flat.
Yeah, it really does. And you have to know your audience, too. Like, you wouldn't use that in a super formal board meeting, would you?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Something like, I'd like to officially call this meeting to order, is probably more appropriate. Shows respect for the formality.
Right. And the cultural context matters, too. The article points out it's common in North American, UK, Australian business cultures, but maybe in more hierarchical cultures, parts of Asia, continental Europe, a more formal opening might be expected as a sign of respect.
That's a key consideration. A formal opening often signals respect for seniority and the structure in those contexts. So yeah, adapt accordingly. Now, building on that idea of establishing purpose, if you want immediate focus, a clear direction, there's another powerhouse phrase. The main objective of today's meeting is.
Ah, yes. This one cuts right through the ambiguity, doesn't it? It tells everyone why they're there. It frames the whole discussion like a North Star for the meeting, as the article puts it, suggests a measurable outcome.
Exactly. It's essential for almost any meeting that isn't purely social. You'd use it right after your opening greeting. It's really crucial for decision-making meetings or project kickoffs. Think of a project manager saying, okay, thanks for joining. The main objective of today's meeting is to formulate a response plan to the client's new feature request. Quote, we need to leave this call with a clear decision on whether we can accommodate it within the current timeline and budget. See, very specific.
And the pitfall here is being vague, right?
Absolutely. Avoid vagueness. Don't just say to discuss the marketing campaign.
Sure.
Be specific to finalize the 3 key taglines for the Q4 marketing campaign. Much better. And if you have multiple objectives, list them clearly. The biggest mistake, though, stating the objective and then just letting the conversation drift without guiding it back.
So true. So these opening phrases, they're not just pleasantries, they're strategic tools. They set the stage, signal productivity right from the start. Okay, so the meeting's underway. Now the focus shifts to presenting information, maybe data. How you guide people through that is crucial for impact. Let's consider the phrase, as you can see from the slide chart.
This is your verbal bridge. It connects what you're saying to the visual information. It reinforces your message with proof, makes it more credible. It's basically saying, look, here's the evidence.
Right. Don't just take my word for it.
Exactly. Use it during any presentation with visuals, just before you explain what the data means.
Okay, but what's the common pitfall here? Just reading the slide.
That's the big one. Don't just state the obvious. The audience can read the labels,
Yep.
use this phrase to provide insight, explain the significance of what they're seeing, and make sure your visuals are actually clear, not cluttered. And, don't overuse the phrase. Mix it up.
Makes sense. Universally accepted, I assume?
Pretty much. Especially expected in data-driven cultures, like tech or finance. Now, what's interesting is how you can use another phrase to act like a verbal spotlight. To really zero in, that phrase is, I'd like to draw your attention to.
Ah, that sounds a bit more formal, more emphatic. Like saying, pay attention, this bit is important.
Precisely. It tells your audience that the information you're about to highlight is particularly important. Could be a key insight, a critical risk, a significant opportunity. It signals you're in command of the material. Imagine a marketing director. Our overall campaign reach was 2.5 million, in line with projections. However, I'd like to draw your attention to the conversion rate on the far right. At 0.5%, it's way below our target of 2%. This is the issue.
So you use it when you have a dense slide, maybe? To isolate the key takeaway?
Exactly. Or when transitioning to a deeper analysis of one specific point. But don't use this powerful phrase for trivial things. It dilutes its impact. And crucially, after you draw attention, you must explain why it matters.
And maybe point to it if you're in person.
Yeah, reinforcing it with a gesture like a laser pointer helps lock it in.
Culturally, this one seems pretty safe.
Very safe. It's formal and respectful, so it works in virtually any business culture.
Okay, so we've opened strong, presented clearly. But a good meeting isn't a lecture, right? It needs dialogue, collaboration. How do we effectively open the floor? The article suggests. What are your thoughts on this?
I like that one. It's open-ended, it's inclusive, it feels empowering. It's a direct invitation for opinions, for feedback, signals you want genuine two-way collaboration.
Yeah, it feels much softer, more inviting than just asking any questions, which can sometimes feel a bit confrontational.
Or like you're just checking a box. What are your thoughts? Implies genuine interest. You'd use it after presenting a new idea or some data when you really want to gauge the team's reaction and get their input.
But the pitfall must be asking and then not really listening.
That's the biggest one. You have to be prepared to listen actively and be comfortable with a bit of silence.
Yeah.
People need a moment to process,
Right.
And definitely don't ask it rhetorically if you've already made up your mind. People see right through that.
Culturally, this works pretty well across the board.
Generally, yes. But response styles will vary. In more indirect or hierarchical cultures, people might hesitate, especially if it sounds like they'd be criticizing a superior's idea.
So you might need to adapt, maybe phrase it less directly or ask specific people.
Exactly. Or follow up in smaller groups or one-on-one later. This brings up another key aspect of collaboration. How do you build on what someone else has said effectively? The phrase building on what name said is just golden for this.
Ah, yes. That sounds masterful. It validates the previous speaker.
Right, it acknowledges their contribution.
And then seamlessly connects your own point. It fosters teamwork, shared ownership.
Exactly. It positions your idea as an extension, not a competition. It says, we're building this together. For instance, if a colleague says, we need more social media ad spend. That's hard. You could respond, building on what Fatima said, I agree paid advertising is key. And I think we should specifically focus that budget on video ads for Instagram and TikTok, since that's where our demographic is.
Nice. So you use it when adding to an idea, showing agreement before expanding.
Or maybe respectfully linking your point to something a senior person just said.
What's the pitfall? Pretending to build when you're actually disagreeing.
Bingo! Don't use it disingenuously to set up a contradiction. That feels manipulative. And obviously, make sure you actually understood the point you claim to be building on.
Okay, great tools for collaboration. Now let's talk about the trickier part. Disagreement. It's inevitable, even essential in business for good decisions. But how do you express it respectfully? The classic softener seems to be, I see your point, but...
It starts with validation. That's key. You're telling the other person, I heard you, I understand your perspective. That makes them much more receptive to hearing your alternative view.
And the but signals the turn, the counterpoint. It's balanced. Respectful but firm.
Precisely. It's perfect for when you need to disagree without shutting down the conversation. Brainstorming, offering different perspectives. Think. I see your point about the first mover advantage, but I'm concerned that launching without final QA could lead to critical bugs. That would damage our brand reputation more in the long run.
Tone is crucial here, though, right? No sarcasm.
Absolutely. It has to sound genuine. And you need a clear, logical reason ready right after the but.
Culturally, this seems essential in more indirect places like the UK or Japan.
Definitely. Direct contradiction can be seen as quite rude there.
Yeah.
This is usually the safer, more professional choice everywhere, frankly. But sometimes you need to be a bit more direct while still being polite. Maybe the issue's more serious.
Right. What phrase works then?
That's where "I'm afraid I have to disagree" can come in.
I'm afraid. That sounds quite British, or maybe formal American English. It softens the blow.
Exactly. It's a polite framing device. It signals respect while still conveying a firm, contrary position. Use it in more formal settings, maybe when discussing serious issues, or when a softer phrase like "I see your point, but" might be mistaken for weak agreement.
But it's a strong phrase, so don't overuse it.
Correct. Save it for significant disagreements. And you absolutely must follow it immediately with a well-reasoned explanation. Otherwise, you just sound stubborn.
Culturally, still okay in Europe, maybe trickier elsewhere.
It's generally understood in British, formal American, and many European contexts. But yes, in many Asian cultures, this level of directness, even politely phrased, might still feel too confrontational in a group setting. You'd need to gauge the situation carefully.
Okay, so it's clear that navigating opinions respectfully is a real superpower. And these phrases are the tools. Now, in the middle of all this discussion, things can get confusing. Wires get crossed. Ensuring everyone's aligned is vital. A great tool for active listening and checking understanding is, so if I understand correctly.
Yes. This is fantastic. You're essentially saying, let me check if I got this right, before you rephrase their point. It confirms your understanding and, crucially, gives the other person a chance to correct you if you're off track.
It feels humble, collaborative, prioritizes accuracy.
Exactly. Use it after someone explains something complex, or when a decision's been made and you want to confirm the details, or just when you sense some ambiguity. Like if a client uses a lot of jargon, leverage synergies for a holistic user journey.
Right.
You could say, okay, so if I understand correctly, you're looking for us to redesign the website navigation so users can more easily find and buy related products in one go. Is that right?
And the pitfall is using it to deliberately misrepresent someone. Straw man.
Yes, definitely avoid that. It destroys trust. Always pause and genuinely wait for their confirmation after you rephrase.
Seems incredibly valuable globally, especially across cultures.
Absolutely. It's a sign of respect and helps bridge potential language gaps. And similarly, for bringing structure and clarity back to a conversation, especially if it's gone on a while, you can use to recap the main points.
The summary phrase. Signals you're about to crystallize the key takeaways. Helps make sure important stuff isn't lost.
Exactly. Use it at the end of a long agenda item, or if a discussion starts going in circles.
Or near the end of the meeting, maybe before defining next steps.
Perfect timing. For example, a project manager could say, okay, we've had a really productive discussion on risks. To recap the main points, we've identified 3 big ones: supply chain delays, legacy system integration, and the tight testing deadline. Now let's talk mitigation strategies for each. See how it provides a neat transition.
Very neat. But the recap has to be accurate and neutral, right?
Absolutely critical. Don't misrepresent points or only summarize the ones that support your view.
And keep it high level. It's a summary, not meeting minutes.
Precisely. It's universally seen as good meeting management. Shows competence.
Okay, so we've recapped, everyone's aligned. Now, how a meeting ends is just as important as the start. We need a strong conclusion, clear actions. What's the single most important phrase for turning all that talk into action?
I think it has to be. Let's agree on the next steps.
Yeah, that feels direct, collaborative, defines who does what by when.
It shifts from abstract talk to concrete commitment. And the let's makes it inclusive, suggests shared responsibility.
You'd use this as the final substantive part of any meeting where actions are needed.
Definitely. After a decision's made, to actually operationalize it. Like, oh, okay, we all agree we need to improve onboarding. Now, the crucial part, let's agree on the next steps. Sarah, can you draft a proposal with the changes? Mike, can you pull the new hire satisfaction data? Deadline next Friday for both.
And the big pitfall here is vague actions or no assigned owner.
Exactly. Every next step needs to be smart. Specific, measurable, assigned, relevant, time-bound. Assign it to a person, not just the team, and give it a clear deadline. Discussing steps without owners is the biggest failure.
Seems like this is just fundamental to action-oriented business cultures.
It really is. Ending with clear actions respects everyone's time. Universal sign of effectiveness.
And finally, that last little bit, The concluding courtesy.
Simple, but so important. Thanks for your time, input, participation.
Acknowledges people's contribution, ends on a positive, respectful note. Reinforces good relationships.
Yep. Choose time for general attendance. Input if it was brainstorming. Participation for interactive sessions. Say it as the very last thing. Host or participant, doesn't matter.
Just don't sound rushed or insincere, right?
Right. Use a warm tone on a call. Make eye contact if you're in person. Forgetting it can feel surprisingly dismissive.
And gratitude is always good, everywhere.
You can't go wrong with a polite thank you. Essential etiquette in every culture.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener, navigating your next big meeting or presentation? This deep dive shows that mastering business English, it's not just about memorizing phrases, is it?
Not at all. It's about internalizing the strategic purpose behind each one. You're the architect. These phrases are your tools.
And the best communicators choose the right tool for the right job with confidence and precision.
Exactly. By understanding the why behind I see your point, but, or let's agree on the next steps, you're not just learning English, you're learning the language of influence, of collaboration, of leadership.
So here's something to try. In your next meeting, just listen. Listen for these phrases. Notice who uses them. What effect do they have? Do they clarify things? Steer the chat. Build consensus. Then maybe choose just one or two from our discussion today to focus on. Practice saying them. Think about how you'd use them in your work. How might consciously choosing your words transform not just your meetings, but maybe your whole professional impact? That's something for you to mull on as you keep building your own framework for success. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing,